That means I think I should still be. Okay, okay there. YouTube, today we're going to be trying out a brand new team, and this team got 37th in the Japan qualifiers as well as 55th at the national tournament with Focus Sash, Inner Focus Entei paired with Weakness Policy Solgaleo. If you do enjoy the videos, be sure to leave a like down below, leave a comment down below, really does help me out. If you want to check out the details of the team and the creator, down below the description, and if you want to use the code, the rental code is on the screen right here. But let's get started and play some games. Groudon, Calyx Shadow Rider, Regieleki, Venusaur, Charizard, and Incineroar. This matchup is so strange for me. I hate the Charizard matchup actually with this team. The only Pokemon that actually hits the Charizard is the Kyogre, and there's a Groudon, of course, so that's exactly not great. If I had Stone Edge on the Entei, this would actually be a lot easier, but yeah, I don't have that option. I don't know what the possibility is here. I think I'm just supposed to lead like Entei plus... I want to say it's Entei plus, I mean, oh boy, this is going to be really weird here, isn't it? I'm going to go with Entei plus, I think, the Soul. And then have Kyogre and Rillaboom in the back. Indeedee does nothing for me. I'm pretty sure Amoonguss doesn't do anything for me. I could lead Amoonguss plus Soul, I guess. But if the Charizard has Heat Wave, I just lose, as well as the Calyx Shadow Rider potential. Yeah, this is just like a really tough one right here. This is a really tough matchup. Like, just anything with Charizard seems pretty difficult for this team. If we had Stone Edge on the Entei, I think there's like an actual chance because I could actually like Dynamax the Entei and threaten the Charizard. But without it, it seems pretty difficult right here. Let's see how it goes though. As yeah, I do think that's a pretty tough one. I'm just hoping that Entei could slow down the Charizard enough for maybe Kyogre to do well if I position it right, but it looks really difficult, I think, in this matchup. We'll see, though. Definitely a possible. I do think I have some outs, but it really depends on what they lead. Aleki plus Charizard's a nightmare. A Calyx Shadow Rider plus Charizard's a nightmare. There's so many nightmares for this team, actually, now that I think about it. Let's find out. It's going to be the Calyx Aleki. Oh, not what I expected. Okay. So... this is really weird. I'd imagine they're probably doubling up my Entei. I don't know. If I can get Trick Room up, this is very doable, but I don't know if they're gonna let me get Trick Room up. I think I just go for an extreme speed, and I think I just attempt a Trick Room here. Otherwise, like, what's my option? I feel like if they Dynamax the Aleki, they double up the Soul, I'm losing the game anyway. If I had Protect, they might be scared of me potentially going for the Bodo's Protect, but I don't have Protect here. I think I just go for the Trick Room. I think I just gotta hope that the Cali's not Specs, and I gotta hope that they double up the Entei here. I'm maybe fearing the Entei Snarl or a bunch of other options that I do have here, but yeah, this is already looking pretty difficult. Entei, I need, unless you could Extreme Speed crit the Aleki, I don't even think that knocks out, but if it does, that would be pretty huge, but I don't think it KOs. It probably misses the KO right here. We're going to see the Dynamax come out from probably the Aleki. It could be the Calyx Shadow Rider, I suppose, but I think it's like really unlikely here. I just don't know who they're doubling up. I guess if they... I mean, this wouldn't have been bad. Oh, I guess I had to gamble. Maybe I should have just clicked Snarl, actually. Because if they do double up my Solgaleo, it was just better to go for a Snarl plus Trick Room, because then Grassy Glide could revenge KO maybe. So I do get the extreme speed off into the Aleki. I don't know, maybe Grassy Glide could still KO. We're gonna see the target in Entei though. Okay, perfect. That helps. So extreme speed ended up being the right play here, thankfully, but it depends. Shadow Rider, you are doing a lot of... Oh, what? Oh, that's amazing for me. That's really good for me. That's amazing for me. Okay, we take those. It's a Willis Calyx set. I'm surprised they didn't just go for Astro, but that really works out for me because they Dynamaxed the Aleki, and now they're in such a difficult spot. Okay, I'm clicking Snarl here, and I guess I'm clicking Sunsteel Strike. Yeah, because I'm not that worried about Aleki, actually. They also have to fear potential Max Quake here as well. So I'm just going to go for the double up in the Cali. If they protect Cali and attack with Aleki, that's fine too. I don't think it's that bad. They also kind of have to respect my option of doubling into the Eliki as well, or even just going for a max Quake into Eliki. So they might just try to go for like a max guard Wisp again. I could see that as a play, but we'll find out. But the Wisp I don't think really matters in the long term. I guess it matters this turn because I could double up the Kali, but the fact that they didn't deny Trick Room is so huge for me. They actually go into Venusaur, which is fantastic for me. I get good damage into Venusaur, so I'll gladly take that. Yeah, I'll gladly take that. So we are able to get a Sunsteel Strike off into the Venusaur. That's pretty big damage. I wonder if it puts in Grassy Glide range coming up later. So we do get the Sunsteel Strike into Venusaur. Oh my goodness, that's a critical hit right there. Okay, I goodbye Venusaur, Dad. I goodbye Venusaur. I'll gladly take that. And then we get a Starloff into Eliki. Oh boy, this is looking super solid right here. Let's see what their option is. Are they going to finish off the Entei, or are they going to target down the... they target the Soul this time, okay? That is... I can't tell if that's physical or special realistically. But yeah, that's a really good turn. That's a very good turn here. I wanted the Eliki's Assault Vest at this point. Like, it's looking like it. Kali comes in. I still have to hit moves into Kali here. I think I just click Snarl, and I think I just click Sunsteel Strike again. Even if the Kali protects, I think that's fine, because like the Eliki can only pick up one knockout right here. And I think the worst case scenario for me is damn if the Kali has Trick Room for some reason, which definitely could be a possibility. We know that it's probably going to be Astral Barrage, Will-O-Wisp. I'd imagine they protect, but if they're Trick Room, I want to make sure I KO the Kali here. So let's find out. It would have been interesting to see the Venusaur play, but Venusaur knockout actually meant that I could have just went for a max Quake in the Eliki the upcoming turn and just an extreme speed in the Venusaur and been completely fine. They would have had Pokemon number advantage though, but it actually might not have been that bad of a turn for me. It just helps out with the numbers, I guess, and I'm not forced to max, but I don't think I've ever been forced to max in this situation. They do go for the Protect with the Kali, which is okay here, as I'm able to go for the Sunsteel Strike and a Snarl off. Let's figure out who who is coming out next, because Water Spout is going to hurt a lot, and I still think Endgame Rillaboom is so good against their team at this point. We do get a critical hit on the Eliki. I don't really think that's going to matter realistically. We're going to see a Max Lightning come out into the Solgaleo. It does finish me off right here, but yeah, now I think I could just go Kyogre. Kyogre under Trick Room seems really deadly. I want to say my Rillaboom for the end game, so because I think Rillaboom is going to clean up the Groudon, I imagine, and Grassy Glide is still really good here. I think just Water Spout plus a Sacred Fire into the Kali slot is always correct here, because I'm assuming it's going to be Sash Kali at this point. Sash Kali is going to go down to the combination in Rain, and if they switch into Groudon for the Sun and hope that Eliki can survive the Water Spout, which I think it definitely could, I think I get a huge amount of damage, and then I think I clean up in the end game with my Rillaboom. But maybe I'm wrong, actually. Maybe I should have targeted down the... Actually, maybe I should have targeted the Eliki slot. I think the Eliki is pretty much inclined not to protect here, but I don't know. I feel like I'm still... No, I'd still be an okay spot at the end of the day regardless, because if the Eliki doesn't have Protect, Water Spout's going to put in range of Grassy Glide or maybe Extreme Speed range. The Eliki, again, can only pick up the knockout on one Pokemon here. They are going to switch out to Kali here. They probably in the Groudon. Yep. Okay, that's fine. So I don't think this is too bad for me. Let's see though, because maybe there are some things that could go wrong right here. Water Spout is going to come out, do a decent amount of damage to both Pokemon. Yeah, it still does a very solid amount of damage to both right there. I think that has to be a Assault Vest Eliki though. I don't think it takes it that well otherwise. A Sacred Fire going to come out into the Groudon, finish it off. Yep. So we are able to eliminate the Groudon, and then the Eliki. What are you going for? You are going for the Wall Charge. Okay, nice. The Wall Charge into Kyogre does pick up the knockout, which is actually good for me because I'd rather than pick up the knockout on the Kyogre, because that means it can't like punish my Rillaboom. Okay, nice. Eliki does go down here, and I think we go out into our Rillaboom now, and we should have this sealed. I'm pretty sure. How many turns of Dynamax are left, I guess? I mean, how many turns of Trick Room are left? I'm pretty sure Trick Room ran out, but maybe I'm wrong here. It might have been one extra turn, but no, I don't think it was. Let me check. Venusaur KO was turn 2. Kali protecting was turn 3. Yeah, it should have been... Oh, wait, hold on. Is it? I actually haven't been counting Trick Room turns, but my Quake play is always the option here. No, I do have one more turn. Okay, no, that should seal it then. I always go for a... Snarl or Sacred Fire. I go for a Sacred Fire, I guess, because I might as well, and then I go for a Quake into the Kali to boost up my special defense, and then they have to get extremely lucky against me, I suppose. Yeah. The drum solo is still going to do a lot of damage to Calyrex. Otherwise, like, a Trick Room was over, they could get an Astral Barrage, KO my Entei, get the +1. I'd probably have to go for, like, probably Protect, Max Quake, Max Guard. Oh, wait, no, that actually probably wouldn't work. No, that would be fine. I would go for Max Guard into Max Quake into Max Guard, and then I would go for the Grassy Glide. And assuming Callie doesn't get double protect, I guess it would actually still be a little bit strange towards the end game, but this still is going to work out. I guess maybe I should have Sacred Fire to Eliki then. I think Sacred Fire into Eliki was correct then. Because even though I did read the switch correctly, Eliki, like, Kyogre probably just won the end game, even if the Groudon got the sun up. So yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, that was probably always the ideal play. Just going for, like, maybe extreme speed into the Eliki was fine there too. We're going to get the Max Quake off into the Cali. Looks like they're not protecting here. Okay, trying to get that Astral Barrage off most likely here. And we do have the Quake boost. We'll see how if we miss, but Entei coming up clutch. We get the Sacred Fire off, KO the Calyrex, and that is going to be a good game. So, oh boy, that matchup, they didn't bring Charizard, which I am very amazed because Charizard was such a big threat. Maybe they were worried about the Stone Edge Entei, and I wish I had Stone Edge Entei. It would have worked out, but we actually did click like almost every move. We clicked Sacred Fire, we clicked Extreme Speed, we clicked Snarl. But yeah, we did actually click all our moves other than, I guess, Bulldoze, but there was a chance of going for the Bulldoze in that match right there. If they didn't lead Cali Shatter Rider plus Eliki, or if I had Protect on the Soul and I was fast, and maybe there was a chance I clicked it. But yeah, overall, I felt like it was a pretty strong turn one. That lead wise, it was not good, let me just tell you, because Astral Barrage, Max Lightning would have just like nuked me, I'm pretty sure, for the most part. Maybe they were really worried about like me Dynamaxing the Soul. I guess if I did go for a Bulldoze plus a Steel Spike or a Quake, they actually were in a lot of trouble if they went for that, because I would have still probably been able to knock out Cali even with the Burn Soul, because I've been +2. The Eliki was physical, so I had the Steel Spike boost. Yeah, it actually still wouldn't have been that great for my opponent, even with the Willis right there. So interesting choice, but thankfully it just worked out for us. We were able to get Trick Room up and then sweep under Trick Room. There were a few turns I could have played better and capitalized on the Eliki, but I felt like overall it really worked out. Lugia, Togedemaru, Zacian, Tornadus with Landis Variant and Torkoal. That Torkoal is just sitting there like so out of place for me, but I'm assuming it's their Trick Room Calyrex Ice Rider matchup. Okay, what am I going here? This is actually pretty good. I like Entei actually quite a bit. It's actually pretty nice against a lot of their team, which seems pretty solid. Kyogre actually does do a lot of work here, though. Like, Kyogre next to Entei is actually fantastic against their team. I don't know if you bring Torkoal. Maybe you do. I don't think it's that amazing, but I guess it could be brought. I'm thinking, like, my options are Kyogre, Entei, Entei, Soul, or I could bring Amoonguss. Amoonguss isn't that bad. Pollen Puff seems really nice as well. Let me check. What's my Entei set? I'm Mystical Fire? I am Mystical Fire. Ooh, I think it's just Kyogre though. I think it's Kyogre Entei in the back with the Soul and Entei, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if they lead Zacian against my team. I could see it. This is, I mean, it's just weird because they have the Lando Tornadus mode, and then they have the Zacian Lugia, which is driving me really off. I wonder if this is like Leer Tornadus. I could actually see the Leer on this team. It won't affect me in this game because of the psychic terrain, but it would allow for some really early knockouts for maybe Lugia setup. But a Togedemaru plus Lugia makes a lot of sense here. Okay. Versus my Entei and my Kyogre. This is actually a really good lead here for me because I'm able to go for a Follow Me and I can go for a Water Spout, and I can make sure no self-volt switches or fake outs happen. So this is actually a really nice lead. Electro Web could kind of screw me over, and if they do have Calm Mind, I guess is a little bit tricky, but otherwise I should be fine. The Psychic Seed is going to be really nice here. Let's just go for that Water Spout, and I guess the question is, do I expect, I mean, I would expect a Zing Zap immediately if they have it. I think I'm just going to go for the Follow Me and click Spout. It's just super safe play right here. I don't really see how I would get super punished here. We are going to see a Dynamax Lugia, which is fine. Like, what can it do? If it Quakes, that's fine, because again, Solgaleo is actually really good against their team, especially once the Dynamax on the Lugia is over. So all I have to do is like set up for the Solgaleo endgame, which is what I'm going to be aiming for. One of the downsides is that Togedemaru probably carrying that Focus Sash does actually, let's see. If it is Focus Sash on the Togedemaru, that means I can't Extreme Speed in Psychic Terrain. So that's one problem, I guess. We're gonna see the Volt Switch does come out, and it is gonna be redirected into the Entei. You could tell it targeted the Lugia because it actually took quite a bit to actually do anything. But yeah, somebody's switching in a Water Spout now, and you don't have a good switch in. Even Torkoal is taking so much damage that I don't even think it's worth going Torkoal here. But if you go Torkoal, I'm clicking Water Spout and I'm clicking Mystical Fire next turn. That allows me to really neuter this Lugia, and it can't really do much, so I will gladly take it here. What's also nice about having my the Solgaleo is that Sunsteel Strike does ignore multi-scale. This Lugia does have access to a recovery move. A Tornado comes in perfectly fine. It really isn't going to be able to do much here, as we are seeing an Airstream come out into the Entei with the Psychic Seed. Oh boy, that just does no damage right here. It really does no damage right here. Okay, perfect. And now we get a Water Spout off, which is pretty huge. So this is pretty big damage into the Tornadus. Does reveal the focus. Wait, that's not Focus Sash. I thought that was Focus Sash. Okay, so it just hangs on and eats a berry. Okay. That Tornadus has to be pretty bulky. I wonder if Hurricane and Aeroblast actually picks up the knockout on the Entei. I think I'm just going to go for a Mystical Fire into the Lugia. Like, slow it down even more. I don't care if they double up my Kyogre, because I don't think I'm even taking that much damage realistically from, like, a double up. A Hurricane going to come out here. They do target the Entei. I didn't want them doubling up my Kyogre, and then it's, like, a really bad position. They actually go for Quake, which is fantastic here. Okay. Into my Entei, which I do survive. Yeah, I was about to say I think I should survive the pet because of the Aeroblast range. It did look pretty like Aeroblast I was going down to, but yeah, I didn't think I was going down to a Max Quake there. A Water Spout is going to finish off the Torn here. Does lower the Lugia, and hey, I still have a full health Kyogre, and I get the Mystical Fire off into the Lugia, which is fantastic for me. So the Lugia is now at -1 special attack, and even if it gets a policy boost, let me just say +1 Lugia is still not impressive. We're gonna see the Totodemaru come out once again. We go for the Origin Pulse here. Yeah, Origin Pulse is super safe, and we are gonna go for I guess a helping hand at this point, because there's no point of going for Follow Me. The Lugia is probably picking up the knockout on Entei, probably with a Quake, and we're probably going to see the Totodemaru activate the policy or go for the Zing Zap attempt into my Kyogre. And I might have to dodge a flinch here, but even if I do get flinch, I don't even think it's like that bad. But I guess it depends on what the Lugia does here. Go for the helping hand with the Kyogre. We're going to see Max Quake be fired off once again, which makes a lot of sense into the Entei, I'd imagine. Oh, it's in the Kyogre. Okay, that works out fine for me. All right. So now, like, look at how much that Quake did. Look at how much that Quake did. That did no damage whatsoever. We are going to see a Iron Head. Okay, into the Entei. Interesting choices right there. Really interesting choices. Okay. No flinches. Origin Pulse into the Totodemaru. Really nice. And the Lugia is super low. Fantastic. Fantastic. I really like this spot. Now, I have a few plays I could go for. I think I want to go Entei. The reason I want to go Entei is because... yeah, I like Entei here, actually. I like Entei quite a bit here. The reason I like Entei is because the Totodemaru doesn't have an Airstream boost, so it guarantees... wait. Did it hang on to its Focus Sash, or did it hang on because of Lightning? Because of Sturdy? I actually did not check that, but that's still okay here. I think my position is just really good here. I think I'm just going to switch out to Ogre. I'm going to go out in this Solgaleo right here. And I don't want to click Snarl. I Sacred Fire. I mean, I could just Bulldoze right here. That's what I'm thinking, like going to Solgaleo Bulldoze here, because I don't think they're going to target down the Kyogre with the Earth Power. It just seems like really unlikely in my opinion. So yeah, I'm going to go for the Bulldoze. I'm going to go for the Bulldoze. Set up my Soul, because I think it's like my best time to set up Soul right here, because the Lugia is probably going to focus down my Entei, which is a pretty big threat to them as well. They don't know my full set right here, so unless they already know the team, I'm pretty sure that Entei comes in, gets to click Bulldoze into that Totodemaru, and yeah, Entei does outspeed Totodemaru, which is really nice. At least I'm pretty sure. Are we Jolly or Adamant? I actually didn't check. If we're Adamant and it gets the policy boost, I guess then it could be a problem. But even then, I think we have like that means I think it should still be. Okay there. Okay, it has Thunder. I've never seen Thunder Lugia, but it went for the Thunder, and Totodemaru's Lightning Rod was there. Okay. That's another thing that could happen here, I suppose. The Totodemaru is going down right there to the Bulldoze. I didn't have to risk hitting a move. Now I'm going to have to hit some moves here, but I mean, it should be fine for the long term. I Dynamax the Soul. They have, I don't think Double Crit can even knock out my Solgaleo, so I feel like I'm in a very strong position. I have This is the last turn of rain, I think. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go for the KO into the Lugia here with the Sunsteel Spike, or Max Steel Spike. Oh man, every time I use a soul, I always confuse the move. But yeah, we're gonna go for that, and I guess we're gonna go for a Sacred Fire in Zacian, because I feel like even if the Lugia has recovery, it's going to recover. It's not going to get the multi-scale back because it's under 50%, and then extreme speed should probably put in range if I don't already knock out. And again, yeah, they can't knock out the Solgaleo, so it was like really tough or near impossible, I think, for them to win that game. But that was definitely an interesting one. But yeah, being able to, I think, just get some really early damage off. Their lead wasn't really that great for me. I think I led perfectly with the follow me there, as I was able to deny the follow or the policy volt switch strats. And yeah, I felt like that was an option that they did have, and I just felt like it was just good against their team in general. They really didn't have a good Kyogre plus the Entity answer, so I felt like it was a really good opener, and then Solgaleo could really clean up their team in the late game, and that's exactly what had happened. Regieleki, Xerneas, Yveltal, and Incineroar, Gastrodon, and the Bronzong. So this is a very unique team because Yveltal and Xerneas, a Gen 6 duo that was used a bit in Gen 7, but it was not exactly that amazing. But okay, so some pretty interesting factors right here. That's Yveltal is actually really tough for my team to handle, and I mean very tough for my team to handle. Okay, I'm gonna have to make sure I have plans against Yveltal because my answers aren't exactly amazing right here. Yeah, this could be quite difficult. Amoonguss is, of course, really good against this team with the Koba Berry. They don't actually have a way to eliminate the Koba Berry Amoonguss, especially next to Kyogre, which I do feel like is the option here. I do think it's probably the Kyogre and the Amoonguss, especially since they don't have a Rillaboom, so no grass types either, so Amoonguss can just redirect pretty much unless it's safety goggles. And in the back, I'm thinking Rillaboom for sure. I like the Life Orb Grassy Glide as a backup towards the Xerneas, which I think is a big problem, as well as Gastrodon. Then last Pokemon, I guess it's Solgaleo. I don't really like it that much, but if I can beat pressure onto that Yveltal, I feel like that Solgaleo could go really in against my opponent's team. This is just such a weird matchup, but let's see how it goes. I'm pretty excited to see Yveltal Xerneas. Interesting. We've seen Yveltal plus the Zacian, which I think was a better version of this core, basically, but who knows? We're gonna see the Eleki plus the Yveltal straight away from my opponent, as I do lead off with my Amoonguss and Kyogre. So lead wise is pretty neutral, I feel. I really do like this lead position because the Kyogre with the Assault should be safe unless it's physical Eleki. And it could very well be physical Eleki on this team, but we'll see. Let me check the Incineroar. It could be physical Eleki on this team, realistically. I wonder if it's Goggles. If it's Goggles, I guess that would not be great here. Like, Goggles physical would not be amazing for me at all. I feel the best play is just to go hard into Solgaleo here and click Spore into the Yveltal if that's the case here, and I do kind of like that play because Yveltal's not affected by the Max move, electric terrain setup, which is pretty big. If the Eleki Dynamaxes, I don't know if it is going to. I do want to scout for what kind of Regieleki this is. I think as long as I save my Rillaboom, I'm not too concerned about the Xerneas, as long as I can get good damage off into it. And Spore Pressure, of course, with the Pollen Puff can help out with my Rillaboom. Kyogre just going to tank these attacks if I can set it up properly. But yeah, let's go out into our Solgaleo here. I don't know if it's going to be a Dark move coming out, but I wouldn't be surprised. Just an Electro Web. Okay, that works out perfectly for me. So Electro Web going to be fired off here. And Oblivion Wing. So we'll find out. Life Orb Eleki is revealed. Good information. Snarl coming out. Ooh, that activates my policy, and that's actually best case scenario, I think. Yeah, that is best case scenario right here. I am able to get a trick. I am able to get a policy up, and then next turn I could go for Trick Room, or I could just go for damage. I really like the idea of going for damage because once I get rid of that Yveltal, that is a huge pain. I still don't know if this is the Oh wait, no, we already confirmed it's the Life Orb on Eleki, so it can't be Goggles, which is actually really good information to note. I'm going to go for the Sunsteel Strike just for damage immediately, and I think Spore is okay here. I actually don't even mind if they knock out my my Solgaleo here, and the thing is, well, yeah, I don't think I mind because Eleki would be forced to Dynamax, I'm pretty sure, unless you have Thunderbolt or Thunder specifically. Thunder probably being the big one. Yet, of course, I could go for the Rage Powder too. It's not exactly an easy read for my opponent right here. The Solgaleo is super threatening to them right now. And if I get forced to allocate an awkward spot, I actually will 100% take this. But I guess Snarl Yveltal actually makes this pretty concerning. I do have a Rillaboom to change the terrain though, if necessary, and Life Orb Grassy Glide will do a lot, but we're going to actually see just the switch out from the Elekey. They want to preserve it. Bronzong comes out, which is absolutely amazing for me, especially if it's not Goggles, and most of them are like leftovers usually. So the Yveltal stays asleep, which is fantastic. We are able to get a Sunsteel Strike off into the Yveltal. Very, very nice damage. I still have my Copa Berry on Amoonguss, so Oblivion Wing, they won't be healing too much. And yeah, look at that damage onto the Yveltal. Absolutely fantastic. It is actually revealed to be the Goggles on the Bronzong. Okay. Huh. That's all right, but the... if it's Ally Switch, I guess this could be concerning, but I am just going to fire off a Sunsteel Strike in the Yveltal. The question is, what am I doing with Amoonguss? Amoonguss could probably switch out here into the Rillaboom potentially, or I could go out in a Kyogre, which is also not a bad play. I actually don't think I mind the Kyogre. Or I could go for... I kind of want to go for a Sunsteel Strike into a Spore into the Yveltal slot. The only problem is I don't know if this is Ally Switch Bronzong. I think I'm just going to go for a Spore and the Sunsteel Strike. If it's Ally Switch, the Yveltal has to guarantee to wake up this turn in order for it to be pretty bad. Otherwise, I get some free damage in Bronzong, and I don't think that's like bad as long as Yveltal again doesn't wake up here. So that's what they need here specifically, and it looks like the Yveltal stays asleep, which is fantastic for me here as I am able to get the Sunsteel Strike off. The only problem is I guess the Bronzong can actually dish out quite a bit if it's able to set up with the Iron Defense, although I still have a Kyogre and I still have Dynamax available, so Yveltal just eliminate from the field, which is fantastic right here. And what are you gonna do? Body Press immediately. Okay, just going for the damage into Amoonguss. Very interesting choice right here, because Amoonguss was taking that really well. Maybe they were anticipating a switch into like my Kyogre for momentum, and I could definitely see that, but didn't really have a reason to right there. So this is great here. Elekey gonna come back in, and I might as well just go for Psychic Fangs at this point. I'm gonna go for Psychic Fangs. Do I need Amoonguss anymore? It's nice against the Xerneas, but otherwise not really. I think I'm just gonna go for a Rage Powder here, because they might actually Dynamax the Elekey this turn. I'm assuming the Bronzong doesn't have Ally Switch at this point. We do see the Dynamax from the Elekey, which makes a lot of sense here. I didn't want to Dynamax the Soul because I don't think I need to Dynamax Soul in this endgame, and I'm pretty sure Kyogre is still really good. As long as I put this Elekey in range of Grassy Glide from my Rillaboom, I feel like it's really smooth sailing from here. Again, in case, unless there's Ally Switch, which of course could definitely be a factor here, but we'll find out. We do get the Rage Powder off with the Amoonguss here. As let's see, is there an Ally Switch or no Ally Switch? A Max Lightning is going to be fired off. Let's target down the Amoonguss because of the Rage Powder, and we are able to survive, which is nice. We might live another Body Press as well, which actually seems really good here. But if we don't, it's not even that big of a deal because I'm not really too worried about the Elekey in this scenario right here. So we will get a Psychic Fangs off. A +2 Psychic Fangs just almost obliterates the Elekey, and Trick Room from the Bronzong. I don't know about that one. Okay. That's a very, very interesting choice right here. But okay, I'm going to go for Sunsteel Strike into the Bronzong. I guess I'm going to go out in a Rillaboom because Amoonguss could still provide some rolls, I guess. Actually, no. No, I think I Sunsteel Strike the Elekey. I think I switch out into my Rillaboom because... I don't think they're Ally Switch at this point. I really don't. If they're Ally Switch, I could just Pollen Puff too. So I don't think they have a reason to Ally Switch this turn. I mean, they're more likely to just go for a Body Press KO or an Iron Defense, maybe a Max Guard from the Elekey. But I think Elekey might just go for the last ditch effort attack right here. But yeah, this is pretty perfect. There's these mix-ups here between me going for the Spore, kind of making them think that I might go for the Spore attempt again, and they decide to max the counter it. But I felt like, yeah, if there was any point to Dynamax in this point in the game, it was probably now. While other times, they could have just got unscrewed again by the Rage Powder. We are going to see the Iron Defense come out from the Bronzong. Not really too concerning right here, as I am able to get the Sunsteel Strike off into the Elekey and pick up that knockout. So as long as I can max with the Kyogre in the end game, which I think is very likely because I don't know what their back Pokemon is, but at this point I'm pretty sure that I'm just winning with my Solgaleo. We'll find out. The rain does stop here. Grassy terrain was just set. I get some healing with the Solgaleo, which is actually kind of nice. We'll find out what their last Pokemon is. Incineroar means that I think I should just win with Kyogre clicking Geyser. But Xerneas comes out. Okay. Pretty sure I can just fake out the Bronzong. I go for Sunsteel Strike. And Xerneas can't really do much right here. I think it has to protect. I could also reverse trick him if I really want to. And that could be an option, but I am just going to click fake out here in the Bronzong and just go for the Sunsteel Strike into the Xerneas. Xerneas is going to make the smart protect play, okay? Or the forced protect play at this point, because otherwise they would have just lost here. A fake out coming out in the Bronzong, just going to make sure that Bronzong doesn't do anything this turn. And I guess we'll find out, because if this is Geomancy, not exactly super easy. I think I always just go for Grassy Glide into the Bronzong slot and Sunsteel Strike into the Xerneas slot, because I just am trying to make sure that I cover for the ally switch as much as possible. I don't really care about a double protect here, because as long as Xerneas doesn't get set up with a Geomancy, I should be fine. The only play, I mean, I really don't expect ally switch at this point, but it's like the only move that could potentially screw me over right here. A double protect, that would have been fine if they got it, because again, they're not putting on enough pressure against my Solgaleo. But I guess body press would have done a decent amount. Let's see how much it does. No, they just Iron Defense here. I'm pretty sure +4 wouldn't KO my Solgaleo, especially with an extra turn of Grassy Terrain. So I think I was fine regardless. We're gonna Sunsteel Strike here. The Xerneas, and yeah, this should be sealed. I'm like, as long as I don't sacrifice my Kyogre on the switch to a body press crit, I should be fine, because Bronzong, even if it gets to +6, I mean, I guess if they have Hypnosis, that would have to be such a weird set though. We've already confirmed body press pretty much. Yeah, we have confirmed it. Iron Defense, we confirmed Trick Room. I think last move is probably Protect or Ally Switch. If it's Hypnosis, that would be really strange. But yeah, let's go for the Sunsteel Strike here, and now let's go for I guess we're just gonna go into Mungus. Yeah, I can just go into Mungus here, just maybe get some regenerator health. The battle's gonna be forfeit because they do realize. And yeah, that was really nice. They're able to get the immediate Spore off, which really threatened their Yveltal, which of course was fantastic. We actually get to see their team, which is really cool. Okay, Life Orb Eliki. It was actually physical. Okay, so this was actually a really big threat. Okay, I'm really glad I got the Spore off into the Yveltal immediately. If they went for the Dynamax, would have been interesting, but since it wasn't Life Orb Yveltal, I guess it wasn't really that bad. And even if they Dynamax turn 1 went for Max Lightning, again, it wasn't really that difficult. Soul did actually put in a lot of work, but again, it wasn't necessary for me to win the game at all. As it was nice because it got the +2 and got damage, which was an option that it had, but it wasn't really necessary because again, I still had a full health Kyogre I was still waiting for, and my Rillaboom was still like able to do some work, I think, in that game. Dark Aura, Assault Vest, Yveltal, a little bit annoying to play around. The Power of Xerneas. We're going to see the standard Citrus Berry Incineroar. Okay. And the Icy Wind Gastrodon. All right. Leftover Safety Goggles on the Bronzong. Oh, it had Speed Swap as final move. Did that change any scenarios that I can think of in that match? Not really. I guess they could have Speed Swapped the Eliki, but it had like that crazy fast Bronzong. But yeah, I don't think it was really going to be that helpful here. Because even if they did, the Eliki went down to a Life Orb hit regardless. So yeah, it didn't really change much right there. But yeah, overall was able to get a really good turn 1 sleep. I was able to get some good reads onto the Eliki slot, and then afterward I was just really able to set up, I think, against the Bronzong with the Kyogre still healthy in the back end. Solgaleo was able to, even though it was okay if I lost it, it ended up putting in a lot of work. And that is the show. I actually just realized, like, I don't know about the Charizard matchup with this team, but overall, Entei are really nice. The Solgaleo, of course, really good against some restricted, especially if we face the Zacian Kyogre. We did not face any. I don't know what was up with today's episode. We faced Lugia and yeah, Yveltal Xerneas team, which I was not expecting, but yeah, that's the kind of day on ladder, I suppose. But if you did enjoy today's video, be sure to leave a like down below, leave a comment down below, really does help me out. If you want to check out the details of the team and the creator, down below in the description, and you can grab the rental code on your screen right here. And if you want to check out the rest of my Series 12 content, where there's a lot of cool teams and a lot of fun Pokemon, make sure to check it out. But otherwise, that's going to be it for me. Have a great day, people, and until we bow again, I'll catch y'all later.